friends, and welcome to another big fat book haul. I don't tend to have these big fat book hauls this close back to back, but I in fact had a birthday. The time I'm filming this is the end of September. My birthday was on September 9th, and I treated myself to some books. My friends got me some books, so we've got lots of books to go over. I'll try to remember where exactly and how I acquired most of these, but we're just gonna go in no particular order. Okay, we'll just start here. I did pick up Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't know that I'm gonna like this book, but I found it at Half Price Books. My sister was in town visiting, and we went book shopping, and I picked this up. This is the start of a sci-fi series. I don't know anything that it's about. It says his wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by longing for justice and the memory of lost love, Darrow will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if it must be one of them to do so. So, I really don't know anything about that. Then I picked up Juniper Hill. I have looked for the books in the Eden series at Half Price Books now, like, for years, and I'm always like, wow, I can't believe they don't have them. In my head, this series is romance first, mystery second, but Half Price Books stocks it in the mystery section. So, good to know now where to look for it, but I have read the first book, Indigo Ridge, and my sister's girlfriend Brooke actually bought book 1 because they had both book 1 and book 2. And I bought book 2. This is book 2 in the Eden's series, which is like, takes place in Quincy, Montana, and there's like romance with a side of mystery. Then one of the gifts I got so sweetly from a friend is my friend Teresa sent me Face Off by Chelsea Curto for my birthday, and this is the start of the DC Stars series, book 1, and I think they're all hockey romances, but in this one both the male and the female are both hockey players. It says, Emerson Hartwell has waited for a spot on the NHL roster since she became a professional hockey player. And this season, she'll finally get the chance to showcase her talent with the struggling DC Stars. Maverick Miller is the best player in the league, but he's never had a winning record. Team captain and desperate to turn things around, he agrees to play nice with the fiery new left winger, even though they're total opposites. After a night where the tension between them reaches a tipping point and they fall in bed together, Emmy and Maverick vow it was only one time, wants to get it out of their system so they can help the team and play better. It doesn't mean anything. She doesn't date hockey players. He's just a notorious playboy, except what shouldn't have happened just once happens again. So, I'm so excited. I've been dying to start that series. This, I think, came from my mother-in-law. I think she got me 2 books, no, I lied. This came in the mail from a Fairy Friday situation. Basically, I'm in just like a bunch of random book-related Facebook groups, and someone purchased both of these books for me. We have Give Me a Sign by Anna Sortino, which this is a book written by a deaf author, and this is about these 2 main characters, Lila and what's the dude's name? Isaac. Lila and Isaac. Lila is deaf, but she's always felt like she's not deaf enough to be a part of the deaf community because she just still has some hearing, but after feeling kind of like excluded from things her friends are doing because they're not making it inclusive for her with her disability, she decides she's going to take the summer and work at a summer camp for children that are deaf and blind and really immerse herself in the deaf community. And I think this book is so underrated and it was so good. So I'm really glad to have a physical copy of that now for my trophy shelf, as well as Notes on Execution by Dania Kukofka. I'm not positive how to say that. But this says, in the tradition of Long Bright River and the Mars Room, a gripping and atmospheric work of literary suspense that deconstructs the story of a serial killer on death row through the eyes of the woman in his life. So, I don't really super know what this is about. We've got Ansel Packer is scheduled to die in 12 hours. He knows what he's done and now awaits execution, the same chilling fate he forced on those girls years ago. Through a kaleidoscope of women, a mother, a sister, a homicide detective, we learn the story of Ansel's life. We meet his mother, Lavender, a 17-year-old girl pushed to desperation. Hazel, twin sister to Ansel's wife, forced to watch helplessly as her sister's relationship threatens to devour them all. And finally, Safi, the homicide detective, hot on his trial. As the clock ticks down, these women sift through choices and culminate in tragedy, exploring the rippling fissures that such destruction inevitably leaves in its wake. This sounds so freaking good. I'm absolutely hyped for that book. Next, I got this at Half Price Books, and this is like the middle of the series, but it was such a good price. This is The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. I'm gonna pick up the rest of the series at some point. I have it on my wish list as like a reminder, but like I think this was like $6, so I had to get it. But this is like the middle of this sports romance series by Stephanie Archer. I did pick up Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. I got this while I was out shopping with my sister. I think I got The Wingman it was in my Is Book Thrifting Worth It video, and in that video I used a gift card that my dad sent me, so technically it's from my dad. But I got Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. I feel like I want to like Allie Hazelwood more than I do. Not that I don't like her, I just think a lot of her books are 3 stars. But I like the like water sprayed edges. I know like a lot of people lately are like hating on sprayed edges. I simply have never seen a book where I don't think it makes it better. I like a sports romance. I know that this one's more sexual than I typically read, but I've been just trying to get through all of Allie's books, so we did pick that up. I do have my, I think this was August, because Afterlight ships at the end of the month. So this I think was my August book, and it's called The Build a Boyfriend Project. Eli Francis is stuck in an assistant position on the online magazine Vent when he should be a writer, stuck with a boss who dangles a promotion but would rather Eli just fetch coffee, stuck working alongside the ex who has had no trouble moving up at work or moving on. When Eli's roommate pushes him to date so he can get over his ex once and for all, they set him up with Peter Park. That just gives Spider-Man. Tall, handsome, and unbelievably awkward. The date is a complete disaster and further proof that love isn't for him. But when his boss overhears Eli recounting the catastrophic night, blah, blah, blah. So it's a male-male romance. This is the special Afterlight cover for it. It's like that. We've got the sprayed edges that look like Snooze, like the diner. And then this is like the naked hardcover. Looks like a bunch of newspapers. It's very cute. And I'm excited to give it a go. Also for my Is Book Thrifting Worth It video, we have 3 books here that were from that video. The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. A shy bookworm enlists her charming neighbor to help her score a date, not knowing he's the obscure author she's been corresponding with in the sparkling and heart-fluttering romance by Christina Forrest. This is the first book in a series. We have got The Edge of Falling by Rebecca Searle. I, for some reason, thought I had all of her books, and then I just keep finding more. Her books are all pretty short with magical realism, and this says, after saving a girl from the brink of suicide, Kagi, who grew up among the social elite, is used to being in the spotlight, suddenly becomes infamous. She's always had everything a girl could want, and being a hero was never part of the plan. But some things are decided for us. Now all Kagi wants is to be left alone. After all, she is still reeling from the death of her younger sister, the subsequent destruction of her relationship with her boyfriend, and the way in which her family has fallen apart since. So when mysterious Aster appears, he just might be the distraction she needs, but what is he hiding? As life as she knows it continues to unravel, Kagi realizes Aster's past may be as dark as her own, and in a world in which she's been branded a hero, Kagi will soon discover that no one can save you not until you save yourself. So, should be good. And then I picked up The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is the only book of his that I have not read, so we had to have it. Then my lovely friend Madison sent me I think she sent me a couple of books I think she sent me 2 books. Oh yes, these 2. I believe it was these 2. Yep, she sent me this thriller called I Am Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. And this says, a missing girl, a tormented witness, a web of lies, and someone is watching, so I'm really excited about that. And then this book, the reason she picked this one for me actually like brings me to tears. This is book 2 in this series. I did read book 1 this past month, but this book's called Wyatt by Jessica Peterson, and her family dog who recently passed away, his name was Wyatt. So when she saw this on my list, she's like, I had to get it for you, and that just makes my heart, ugh, so sad. So then I picked up this book, which I'm very excited about. This is book 2 in an interconnected standalone series. The first one being Morbidly Yours, I believe, by Ivy Fairbanks. Where even is it? I'm gonna have to find that so I can put them. Oh my god, the sticker is peeling off so poorly. So poorly. I thought Morbidly Yours had a green spine. Oh yeah, I see it. It does. I found her. Like I could picture it. It's like a sage green. I was in fact correct. But this is book 2 in the series. It's like the Galloway series, I believe. And I really liked book 1. Book 1 was like about a guy who he runs like a funeral home. And so this is book 2. This is called Heartstrings by Ivy Fairbanks. And this is about Celio Lowe Valdez doesn't believe in second chances. Surviving cancer taught her that life is too short to depend on someone who wronged you. But Aiden O'Toole is determined to show her life is best spent together. When a tough-as-nails Texan moves to Galloway for medical school, she wasn't planning to look for love. Aiden, a gorgeous tattooed, mandolin-playing lawyer, slipped past her defenses. They fell for each other hard, but when Aiden was given the opportunity of a lifetime to move to London and record an album, he took it, breaking Lowe's heart. Yet, more than 2 years and a successful album later, every song he writes is still about her, the one who got away. And every time Lowe hears his voice on the radio singing about love, it's an arrow straight to her soul. Now they're on a collision course as maid of honor and best man at a weekend-long Irish castle wedding, and some mistakes are worth forgiving. Can Aiden convince Lowe the song wasn't meant to end? I hope the wedding is for the characters in book 1. That would be so cute, wouldn't it? So, we've got that. And then this next book was Gifted to Me by Melita. Really enjoyed this one. Hope you do too. Happy birthday. So, this is called The Language of Fantasism Cultish. It's called Cultish by Amanda Montell. And what makes cults so intriguing and frightening? What makes them powerful? What makes people join and, more importantly, stay in extreme groups? We secretly want to know. Could it happen to me? Amanda Montell's argument is that on some level it already has. Our culture tends to provide pretty flimsy answers to the questions of cult influence, but the true answer has nothing to do with mind control wizardry or Kool-Aid. In Cultish, Montell argues that the key manufacturing, intense ideology, community, and an us versus them attitude all comes down to language in both positive and shadowy ways. Cultish language is something we hear and are infiltrated by every single day. So this is like a nonfiction book, I believe, about cults. Then sweetie girl Maria, she sent me this one here, which is Love Lies Beneath by Ellen Hopkins. Ellen Hopkins is one of my favorite authors of all time. She was my favorite author all through high school, and I've been wanting to do a reread of all of her books, but I've discussed this plenty of times. TLDR, I had let a friend borrow a couple of them, and I never got them back. So I've been slowly trying to rebuild my collection, and so when this came in the mail, I was so excited. Then Andrea had gotten me a trophy copy of Kiki's Delivery Service. I did read this already. This is super cute, super short little story about Kiki and her little kitty. And she is a witch, and whenever they're, I believe, 12 or 13 years old, they have to leave the house for a year to go discover like their purpose as a witch, and it's about her and her delivery service, and it's really, really cute. Then another book I picked up recently. I don't really know when, where, or why I picked this up, if I'm being honest with you, but I did pick it up, and it is The One by John Mars. I recently read Keep It in the Family and really enjoyed it, so I want to continue reading some of his work, and I've heard really good things about this one, and I believe this is a series. But how far would you go to find the one? A simple DNA test is all it takes, just a quick mouth swab, and soon you'll be matched with your perfect partner, the one you're genetically made for. That's the promise made by Match Your DNA. A decade ago, the company announced that they had found a gene that pairs each of us with our soulmate. since then, millions of people try, so that should be really creepy. And then I picked one of these up at Half Price Books. And it was, I have book 1 in this little series, and then this was book 3. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite the bullet, buy book 2. I think it was like $8 or so, or no, I think it was like maybe $11 on Amazon. Yeah. But we have Once Smitten, Twice Shy, and Better Hate Than Number. Both of these are by Chloe Leese, and these are for the Bergma, or the Something Sisters series. So I'm excited, basically, to have all of them so I can binge the series. Because this is the Wilmot Sisters series. So, we have the rest of that. The other book that Maria sent me was The Husbands by Holly Gramazio, which I've been dying to read. This book I feel like has very mixed reviews, but the premise of it is something that I love, where basically this girl goes home one night and this man comes out of her attic. He's her husband, and every time he goes back up there, a new husband comes down. That's as far as I know about it, but I'm excited to give her a try. This was my book of the month pick for September, The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O'Connor. My book of the month code is always down below. If you use it, you get a discount on your first book, and I get a free book. So I'll love you forever. This was the romance pick, and this says, a bed and breakfast for the broken-hearted might hold the key to another chance at love in this achingly hopeful debut romance. It sounded pretty cute, and I've been in such a romance mood over the last year or so. I think I picked this up when I was shopping with Andrea, if I'm remembering correctly. That's my, like, guess as to when I picked this stuff up, but I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. But I'm giving Anna Hong another try. I read the first 2 books in the Twisted series and hated them, but it's just, like, not the vibe of book that I like, and I love a sports romance. I love a long, slow burn romance. I'm hoping this is slow burn. If they are doing the do by halfway, I'm gonna probably DNF it, because you can't give me a 600-page romance and not have it be slow burn, because otherwise I will stop caring. But as far as I know, this is a soccer sports romance called The Striker. Okay, I believe, buy this entire series of the Get a Life Chloe Brown series by Talia Hibbert. This is Chloe Brown is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. After almost, but not quite dying, she's come up with the list of directives to help her get a life. A list of all the things, and it's going to be her story, so I'm excited about that. Another book that I picked up at Half Price Books, this is a new book. I'm trying to get the new sticker off. I don't know. I understand why they do it at Half Price Books, so then you can denote which books are new and which ones are used for, like, pricing wise, but anyhow, this is another really thick romance. It's got super beautiful butterfly sprayed edges, and this is a new sports romance series by Krista and Becca Ritchie, but this one's called Burn Bright. How long have you been the sun? Ben Coble is number 6, not 6th place. In fact, he'd be considered at least 3rd draft pick for the NHL if he didn't quit hockey during college. And he's not 6th in line for any throne, though, most considerably larger-than-life billionaire family American royalty. He is the 6th-born kobold. Out of a normal family of 7, he might be lost in the shuffle, but being the black sheep of the Cobalt Empire comes with its own intense spotlight. After he hits a major low in college in Philly, his 4 older brothers convince him to move with him to New York City, transforming Manhattan Valley University. Piece of cake. Living in an apartment with all of his brothers while harboring a giant secret among a tight-knit family who's closer than a secret society holding total effing chaos. He has to find a way out of this tense living agreement, especially since he clashes with his oldest brother Charlie. Ben turns to an unlikely source for help, a grumpy punk rocker girl with troubled past who's already pissed off one of his brothers. So when an undeniable attraction ignites, Harriet Fisher is expecting the flames to die out, except what happens when they don't? Falling for a Cobalt brother with secrets might be a Shakespearean tragedy. She can't rewind. Okay, also from my mother-in-law is another book by that deaf author, Anna Sortino. This is called On the Bright Side. I just wanted it because it's her. There's also like some braille on the front, which is pretty cool. But this is Ellie's deaf boarding school just shut down, forcing her to leave the place she considered home and return to her hearing family. Being mainstreamed into public school isn't exactly easy, so her guidance counselor pairs her with Jackson, a student who's supposed to help her adjust. Can the boy who tries to say the right things and gets it all wrong be the lifeline Ellie needs? Jackson's been avoiding his teammates ever since some numbness in his legs cost him an important soccer match. With senior year off to a lonely start, he's intrigued when he's asked to help the new girl, thinking it'll be a commendable move on his part. Little does he know that Ellie will be the person he most wants by his side when the strange symptoms he's experiencing lead to a lifelong diagnosis. And you can see, like, he has like a cane. I just picked this up when I was at the bookstore with my friend Emily the other day, and this is book 2 in the Unsteady series, another sports romance series. It's called Unloved. Picked this book up. It's not been getting the like most stellar reviews, I will in fact admit, but you know, I tend to like a book with a mediocre review. And this is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. It's blurred by Lila Sage, and I love the cover. He's a tattooed boy. Hate that her name's Prudence, I will admit, but fun little autumnal romance. Trying to go a little bit faster because I feel like I have still so much to go over. This book I picked out for myself while I was out shopping with my sister when she was in town visiting. This is a new thriller. It has really good ratings. It's called Love Mom, and it has these super cool sprayed edges. A best-selling author, a mother, and a murderer. So I'm excited about that. Then I picked this one up while I was shopping with my sister and her girlfriend and Andrea. It's a Christmas book because, you know, we gotta start preparing ahead of time. And I got the Christmas Orphan Club. This is about a girl named Hannah, and she's got a dead parents, and my mom's dead, and my name's Hannah. So, and Andrea says she thinks I'm really gonna like it because she's read that book. Also on that same shopping trip, I did pick this up because I've been seeing really good things about it, and my friend Emily just read this and gave it 5 stars. And it's called The Names by Florence Knapp. Here it is. And it's like about this, like, you follow 2 different timelines, I believe, and if she would have named her son different things and how his life would have turned out. So, seems fascinating. The next book is actually a really heartbreaking story, and it is this beautiful edition of The Hobbit. This summer, I lost a really close friend of mine. She passed away unexpectedly, and I talked on the phone with her dad, and he said he wanted to send me one of her books, and this is the book that he chose to send me of hers. I don't really have any intentions of reading it, but it is going to be like a prized possession in my collection for my whole life. Another book of the month book I got as an add-on is The Other Side of Now. This is a magical realism book, and from what I know, our main character is famous, and she and her best friend, who has passed away, had always planned on going on this trip to Ireland. She decides to go on the trip to Ireland, but when she gets there, it's almost like magical realism, a different like reality, where she's not a celebrity and her best friend's alive and they're with her. So that sounds right up my alley. Another book Andrea got me for my birthday is Tusk Love by Thea Guanzon. I've already read this. I gave this 3 stars, which is an exceptional rating for me when it comes to romantasy. This is a Critical Role story. I gotta show you guys the reversed dust jacket. The regular dust jacket is so pretty, but the reverse is so cool. Like, I'm tempted to reverse it, honestly. I've been considering it because I kind of like it even more. But that seems stressful, so I'm not going to. But basically, during one of Critical Role's campaigns, there was this like storyline of one of the characters reading smutty orc novels, and then they like wrote the book, which I think is so funny, and I'm so excited to have that on my shelves. This next book I've been seeing literally nothing but 5-star reviews for. So this one Chris got me. I think Chris got me The Striker as well. Chris got me a handful of books for my birthday as well. I can't remember. It's all blending together. But I know for sure he got me this one, We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. And I don't know anything about this other than everybody's loving it. A couple of books I got in my Is Book Thrifting Worth It video, so they're technically from my dad, is Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. I think this is like a home invasion mystery thriller. Very spooky. And then I don't know why, but I picked up My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I didn't love the first book I've read by Frederick Bachman, which was A Man Called Ove, but I've been just seeing such good things about this book that I feel like I need to give her a go. The next, these are all from that video. Oh, this is again from my friend Madison. She sent me this book as well for my birthday. I love the like sprayed edges. This one's called How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. 7 authors enter a manor. Can they survive the story within? So hopefully that one's good. These next 5 books were all in my Is Book Thrifting Worth It video. We got Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score. I really enjoy Lucy Score's writing, so I'm excited about this. We've got the other Brown sisters books, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. And for some reason I got 2 Darcy Coates books, even though like I'm not having the best time. I have not liked any books I've read by her, but everybody hypes them up, so I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. So I got Voices in the Snow, which Claire remembers the cold. She remembers abandoned cars and children's toys littered across the road. She remembers shapes in the snow, the terror she can't explain, and then nothing. When she wakes, aching and afraid in a stranger's gothic home, he tells her she was in an accident. He claims to have saved her life. Like, it sounds like it's going to be really good. And then The Gallows Hill, this one says, this one's like a haunted house stories, and I love a haunted house. So we got that, and then these last 3 books are all gifts from Andrea for my birthday. We've got Remarkably Bright Creatures, which everybody cries reading this book, and there's like a point of view from an octopus. So I'm very intrigued by that. She picked me up My December Darling. It's so funny that this is considered a novella, even though it's like 200 something pages, but Lauren Asher's books are just all so long that to her this is a novella. And then spooky spooky, she did get me Lights Out. She's like, do you have Lights Out? And I'm like, no, I considered picking it up just so I could like know the vibes. And she was like, you might be getting it, so like don't buy it. So that's everything, friends. Thank you so much for being here, and to all of my friends who got me any of these as gifts, I love you so very much, and I'll see you next time.